Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I hope you're all doing really well and having an amazing holiday season. I know mine's been very nice. Today, I want to talk about some of the fragrances that are on my list for New Year's Eve. So some of them are affordable, some of them are a little more niche, but still nothing is too crazy expensive. We've got some florals, we've got some fruits, we've got some vanilla, of course, some gourmands, and some more elegant offerings, depending on what your evening is going to look like. So let's start out strong with one that I am very most likely going to wear. I've loved this scent for years. I did get it at a discounter, so you can find this for well under retail price at this point. And this is Rouge Smoking by BDK. Now, I love BDK, and this is one of my favorites, and honestly, I think so many of them would be appropriate for New Year's Eve. I think Passé Soie would be a great one. I think Vanille Leather would be a great one, but this one is really fun. So it's very elegant, seductive, charming, I think, and fun. So it's a cherry fragrance. To me, this smells like a somewhat smoky, leathery cherry Coke almost. I'll put the notes up on the screen, but to me, I get a little bit of a spice like you would find in Coca-Cola, a little bit of a cherry, very much not medicinal. This is a nice juicy cherry, but it's not going in a medicinal direction at all. And I do get a hint of a leather or something kind of smoky. I just think it's so sexy. It's sexy but playful. This one, although I do love it, it's not a beast mode performer. Now, I haven't tried the Extrait, and from what I understand, that one is very much more beast mode. That'll last you a lot longer, but of course it's newer, so it's a bit more expensive. I haven't seen it on the discounters, and either way, this is just one that I've loved for years and years. Tempted to make it my fragrance of the day, but I'm already wearing one of these as my fragrance of the day. So all that being said, this is a top contender for me. I think it would be perfect for like a really fun, effervescent New Year's Eve celebration. Actually, almost any occasion. It's, you know, BDK makes really elegant fragrances, so you could wear it to a more formal event. You could wear it to a more fun event. I think it's captivating enough to absolutely wear it for more of a date New Year's Eve. All that being said, one of my favorite BDKs of all time, and I think winter season, holiday celebration, New Year's Eve is like, I can't think of any more appropriate occasion to wear Rouge Smoking by BDK. And just look how pretty the bottle is, and the juice, the color of the juice, it's so nice. It's so festive. Okay, moving on, let me do a mic check here. Moving on to something that I don't see a lot of people talk about, and granted, it's not a new release. Almost none of these are new releases. So these are, to me, are just old standbys, classics. So this is a really sexy, but really kind of understated fragrance, and this would be French Leather by Memo Paris. So a lot of people talk about African leather, which is a very powerful and beastly leather scent. This one is like a very careful and understated rose and leather fragrance. So this one is, it's unisex, but in my opinion, it's a very elegant. So to me, this is more of a suede, like a very feminine, very French. This is a very French fragrance. Suede with a very light and somewhat spicy rose. So think of wearing a soft suede jacket with a hint of some rose bushes, or even like maybe you put some rose water on your face, or you're sipping on like a rose tea. That's what it's like. So it's actually very light wearing and very kind of ethereal. It's like an ethereal, very chic, ultra chic, suede and rose perfume with a little tiny hint of spice And it's very linear. So when you spray it on, that's exactly what you're going to get on the dry down. Obviously, it lasts better on clothes. So definitely, spray it on your skin and also like really go crazy on your clothes. That's what I do anyway. That way you'll be getting wafts of it, all throughout the evening. I think I do wear this during the day sometimes, strictly in the winter. I think for me, this is a cold weather perfume because it does give that sort of mysterious nighttime, wintry, magical kind of effect. So this would be perfect for a New Year's Eve date or any kind of a New Year's Eve celebration. Honestly, it's just very chic, very put together. I think you're going to smell very unique. So it's chic, unique, sexy, alluring, very French, very upscale, really approachable, and just attractive, like suede, leather, and rose fragrance. Will not beat anyone over the head. I mean, this is like really approachable, really kind of a gentle, understated scent. So again, that is French Leather by Memo Paris. And I did get this at a discounter for around $100. So I know Memo Paris is a pricier niche house, but you can find some of the older ones at a really good deal. Okay, let's move on to a beautiful, stunning, elegant vanilla. One of my favorites in my collection. I'm gonna have to do a video sometime soon about all of my favorite vanillas, whether they be affordable or niche. And this one actually I picked up on a discount as well because it's not super new, but it is just like one of the most elegant powdery vanillas I've ever smelled in my life. This is Note Vanille by M. Micallef. And this is just the most chic, sophisticated lady. Really just like non-gourmand, powdery, upscale vanilla. This is so well blended and so well done. It's like the peak of sophistication and elegance. It's very gentle. It's very classy. So it opens with a little bit of a citrus to my nose. I'll put the notes up on the screen again. I can't remember them by heart, but yeah, it opens quite bright and citrusy. And it's a little bit powdery. It's not baby powder. I don't prefer powdery smells. I can't really handle them. They give me a migraine. But this one is mildly powdery. It may have just a hint of something aldehydic. Again, I don't really do aldehydes very well at all. I don't, where'd she go? I'm sorry. Okay, she's there. I don't deal with aldehydes very well. Anything like a classic Chanel No. 5, I can't do it. This is not in that ballpark whatsoever, but there is something very classic about it. There's something very classic, very timeless kind of vanilla. So when it dries down to a bourbon vanilla, so it's rich. So it opens bright and somewhat ethereal and powdery and dries down to a very rich, smooth bourbon vanilla. So I think this is a really great for going out. I think this is a great special occasion vanilla. Of course, I have worn it to work because I wear all my perfumes all the time, no matter what the occasion. But I do think this is a perfect New Year's Eve special occasion going out type of vanilla. Very, very safe. I think this is very safe. Like it's not pushing any boundaries. It's not pushing the envelope. It's just so pleasant, so attractive, and it's a huge compliment getter. And you're just going to smell like a very, classic, put together, self-possessed woman. And that's Note Vanille by M. Micallef. Pretty rhinestones on the bottle too. Okay, let's move on to something really fun. So if you're going to more of like a really fun, jubilant party type atmosphere, maybe the crowd is a little bit younger, or they can be any age, honestly, but it's going to be, maybe it's not like a formal dinner or anything like that. On my list also is La Danza dell'Ebuel by Nobile 1942. Come on, focus. So this is a really fun kind of fruity, almost like an apple tart. not really an apple pie. I believe there's lemon and possibly another fruit in here, like maybe cherry, along with a really crisp, fresh cut apple smell. And then you kind of get the hint of some kind of a crust, but to me, this is really only like a semi-gourmand. To me, this is not a full-blown gourmand. It's more perfumey for sure. So it's bright, it's effervescent, it's fun, it's playful, but still upscale. It's still elegant. This again is a really lovely niche house. I have a few others from them. It was hard for me to choose which I would place in this video. I have another by them that is a cherry scent as well, which is really nice, elegant, chic cherry, but I thought that maybe was more of a warm weather scent. But anyway, this is kind of like a crisp, somewhat citrusy apple tart with just a little hint of like a flaky crust, not a whole lot of spice, if any, whatsoever. And then it dries down to like a really like fluffy vanilla, but the main accords I get here are like a nice, crisp, fun apple. So that is La Danza della Lebuelle from Nobile, 1942. And apologies for butchering the name, because I know I did. Okay, let's move on to another rose. And I've mentioned this one before, and this is an empty because I've had her for years. And this is going to be another leather rose fragrance, but on a very different scale than French leather. This is Rose 31 by Le Labo. This was one of my very first rose fragrances because I always thought that I did not like rose, but actually I do like rose. It just has to be done in a very particular way. So this is like a clean, somewhat leathery and very woody rose. So if you've smelled any Le Labo fragrance, you will know that they really focus on, I don't want to say fougere, but they really focus on naturals, even though all their ingredients aren't necessarily natural, of course. They do use synthetics, but there are a lot of herbs, spices, and woods. They use a lot of musk, so a lot of ambroxan or other ingredients that kind of give more of an ethereal atmospheric projection. And this is no different. So to me, this is a very, and I think I can still smell it. So to me, this is a very crisp, woody rose with a hint of leather. It's probably actually saffron that I'm picking up on, but either way, to me, this is a nighttime perfume. And to me, this is special occasion, seductive kind of rose. It's unisex, but to me, most things with rose do lean feminine. I think this does lean very feminine, in my opinion. Maybe one of the most feminine from Le Labo, and I just think it's so sexy. It's so different. It's so unique and sexy and alluring. If you get a chance to stop into a Nordstrom's or a standalone Le Labo boutique, try to get your nose on this one. If there was still any left in my bottle, this would be on the roster for sure. And I'm just suggesting it to all of you out there because I don't hear this one talked about a lot. And to me, this is one of my favorite Le Labos. So perfectly great for a New Year's Eve party, on a cold, crisp evening, on your way into the venue, wherever you're going, maybe you're with your spouse or a new date. Either way, I think it's going to really stand out from the crowd, and you'll get tons of compliments. So that is Rose 31 from Le Labo. All right, what should we do next? Let's do another rose. So this one I do not have a full bottle of, and I never have because it's very, very expensive, but I've always had a sample in my collection. And this would be an absolute classic, and some would say possibly his best work. This is Portrait of a Lady by Frederic Malle, and the perfumer is Dominique Ropion, who has made many, many masterpieces, many mainstays in many people's collections. I'll just show you the little sample. It retails for between $200 and $300. So no, I've never had a full bottle. Here's what this little sample looks like. I also have a bigger size from Scent Split. So Portrait of a Lady is really like a very classic rose, floral. So I get some aldehydes. I get a very, very mature jammy rose. There's some other white florals. Again, I'll put the notes up on the screen. But to me, this is like a very nighttime, very cold weather rose scent that you might wear, you know, to the opera or somewhere really formal. So I would wear this somewhere dark, formal, and wintry for sure. And I think it would be great for New Year's Eve because to me, this is very special occasion. Of course, you could make it your signature scent. Anybody can wear anything for any occasion. But to me, this is just so loud. It's so special, so unique, and so specific. So this rose, it's very classic. So not like elderly, but to me, this is like a very classic, not like a Delina rose, not like a young, springy, light-wearing rose. This is kind of a heavy duty. And then it's blended with some other incredible notes. It's perfectly well blended. And I just think this is a special occasion one. So again, that is Portrait of a Lady by Frederic Malle. Perfumer is Dominique Ropion. And this is on my list for New Year's Eve for sure, depending on where I go. Okay, let's do another vanilla. So this is a newer one to my collection as of a few months ago. Perfect fall and winter vanilla. And I think a little bit upscale. So I would say this would be great for New Year's Eve or any other special occasion. This is Satin Vanilla by Birkholz. I haven't heard too many people talk about this one. This is a very buttery, boozy. I believe it's rum, some plum, and vanilla. So this one does have great lasting power, and it's very rich. It's a very rich, very buttery, very smooth, very sensual vanilla. I suppose it is technically a gourmand, but it's nothing like a fluffy, cupcakey, lactonic vanilla. This is like a true baker's vanilla with a little bit of rum, a little bit of plum, and I believe it does have a citrusy opening, although for me that fades really fast and it just turns into like pure butter, like pure vanilla extract, butter and rum seduction. So it's incredible if you are planning on maybe having a quieter night in or doing a lot of snuggling or, you know, planning on getting up close and personal. I think this would be a great one. I mean, everything I've mentioned so far has been a little bit on the sexier side, but this is just, I mean, you know how people go insane for vanilla. So anyway, this is a really nice one, really satiny, velvety, smooth, buttery, rich vanilla. And that is Satin Vanilla by Birkholz. All right, moving on to one that I actually apparently got the notes very, very wrong too. And this is from a Middle Eastern house, but it's not a super affordable Middle Eastern house, although I got this one for a great deal. I actually got it for under $100 at the discounters. This is Diadema by Moresque. And I thought that this was a rose Flormand, and I'll explain why, but let me redo the notes first of all. So this has top notes of cherry, orange, and bergamot. It does open bright and fruity. Middle notes of ylang ylang, jasmine sambac, and May rose. So there is a little bit of rose in here. And in the base notes, caramel, Madagascar vanilla, benzoin, and patchouli. This is such a unique rose Flormand because it's so different, and this is my scent of the day, so I'm just gonna spray it on my skin. It's so different than other Flormands that I have. So you know what it is? I think it's the patchouli. The patchouli in this, I don't see that a lot in a whole lot of like rose and caramel, rose and vanilla, rose, citrus, and caramel combinations that, God, it just makes it so rich and different and unique. Sorry about that. It does open bright citrusy with a little tiny hint of cherry. This, I wouldn't have ever said that this was a cherry perfume at all. And then it immediately evolves into very much like equal parts rose and caramel. And then in the base, it's just so much really nice, fluffy, earthy patchouli. It's like a fluffy patchouli, almost like, I hesitate to say it, but almost, I'm not going to say it. Think of something that's green and herbal that can look very fluffy and have crystals on it and can sometimes be purple. That's kind of the texture of it. So it's kind of like goopy and chewy and also fluffy. And yeah, it's just really, really like strong, first of all. This would last you all night. All you would need is like a couple sprays here and there out the door. This would last you all night. It's sweet. It is intoxicating, but very, very different. It's very, very different. So if you're looking for something that is a rose flourmond with hints of caramel, vanilla, and a very patchouli forward dry down, I would check out Diadema from Moresque. Again, I've never smelled anything like it. So you will smell unique. You will stand out. You will be standing out from everybody wearing their, Sephora designer fragrances, like the very predictable ones, one of which I have at the end because it's a classic. So anyway, check it out if you're into that kind of thing. Okay, let's move on to one that I only have a sample of, but I got the sample set earlier, right after Halloween in the fall, and it is just magnificent, and full bottle is in my cart. So this is a very much a nocturnal, nighttime, sexy fragrance, and this is Queen of the Night by Heretic. And the reason I think this would be a phenomenal New Year's Eve fragrance is because it is so, it's like, first of all, Queen of the Night is a night blooming floral. It's a white floral. And the reason I think this would be a perfect New Year's Eve fragrance is because it is so, I've never smelled anything more winter appropriate in my life. If you're planning to have a goth New Year's Eve, God, it is just like, it's sweet. It's got something citrusy in there, but it's cold. Like the temperature of this is cold. It's like a cold, nocturnal, winter, night blooming white floral. It's definitely indolic. There's something animalic, lightly powdery. And I'm almost getting a hint of neroli along with I believe there's jasmine in here as well. Difficult for me to describe. I'll put the notes up on the screen, but I just think this is like so sexy. It's so mysterious. It's so goth. It's like so, you're wearing like a very elegant all black, possibly some sequins, like black, silver, kind of a getup with a bright red lip and, your sky high heels, slicked back, whatever. And you're just stunning and you're wearing just a stunning fragrance. And when you walk into the room and people look at you and they smell you, they're just like, who is she? Who is that? That's what this smells like to me. You can get sample sets still. They're probably discounted at this point. This came with 3 from Heretic, but I think the full bottle only costs about $65. So check out Queen of the Night by Heretic Parfums. Definitely on my New Year's Eve list, okay? For a very chic occasion. Okay, last but not least, and it's honestly for me a toss-up between this one and the first fragrance I mentioned, which was Rouge Smoking. And this is gonna be Bacciami by Bulgari. I have this size. I don't know what size this is. Bulgari Bacciami, because I just think it's such a perfect party scent. Oh, just a really beautiful, creamy gardenia with a very rich, creamy amber and vanilla dry down. It smells a little bit boozy, but it's just so sweet and so fun. And the florals are just so heady and so creamy and so inviting. I just think this is sexiness in a bottle. And if you're on a budget, Nafai Shark smells almost identical. In fact, what I would do is I probably would layer both. So I have both. So I would probably put Nafai Shark, all over. Take this with me throughout the night to touch it up. You wouldn't need to with Nafai Shark, but there's just something about the OG, guys. There's just something about the OG. It's so creamy. It's so smooth. It's so well blended. I think it's so playful. I believe Baciami means kiss me. And that's exactly, to me, this is like your midnight kiss fragrance. This is your Happy New Year, kissing your new boo or your dearly beloved. At midnight. It's just so inviting. It's so playful. It's so sexy. And that is Baciami by Bulgari, which is it's last, but certainly not least. So for me, I'm probably either going to go with Rouge Smoking or Baciami. And I just have an honorable mention here because I have worn this one to many, many winter nighttime occasions. And I've had this and many versions of this over the years. This is the original YSL Black Opium because why not, guys? It's such a beautiful, dark, rich, sexy vanilla and coffee fragrance. There's a reason it's a bestseller, and it's been a bestseller for years. I have also smelled Overbred, and I enjoyed that one. But to me, the classic YSL Black Opium, the OG, is just, I think you can't fail. Put on a little black dress, put on a little cropped leather jacket, and some nice rich vanilla with a little hint of coffee and whatever else is in here. It's pretty sweet. I think it's extremely seductive. And if you're like short on ideas and you happen to have this and have had it in your collection for years, just go for it. Go for, YSL Black Opium. I don't think you can lose. All right, well, thank you so much, guys. If I have links to anything, I will link them down below. I am starting to get some links, codes, affiliate links where I earn just a teeny tiny little commission from Amazon so far only. So appreciate you being here. And coming up next will be a New Year's Eve fragrance list for under $50. Anyway, happy holidays. See you next time. Bye.